oh, I want to do drag. They're like, no, you shouldn't do it. You wouldn't even be pretty. There's
Oh,
enough drag
wow.
queens as it is. Don't worry about it. We like you as it is. Cause I was a cute little boy at the time. We're
Mm,
talking 20 years ago. And I was like, well, let's just paint me up and see how it goes. I should have brought the picture. I have a picture, a
mm,
photograph, because back in the day we used cameras and photographs. I have a
right?
photograph
What's
of
that?
my first night in drag. Yeah, I have a photograph of my first night in drag. And this lovely entertainer by the name of Sarah Andrews, aka Bitter Betty, was the
Hmm.
first queen that ever put makeup on me,
Oh, wow.
and did my first show with Austria Andrews at the Connection here in Nashville. And my first song I ever performed was "Impressive Instant" by Madonna, and it was a Thursday night, and I just remember just really feeling it and just having a good time. And Madonna was a big influence on my life as well as my drag career. My drag name actually is influenced by her, and
Mm,
her spiritual journey. Veronika Electronika was a name that she wanted to possibly go by when her Ray of Light record came out. And her rabbi's like, you probably don't want to change your stage name after 20 years. So just
mm.
leave Madonna as it is. So she didn't do it, so I did.
Right, right. Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. I didn't, yeah. So you have been doing drag for a long time.
Long time.
And have you ever felt, I mean, to me, it seems like you seem very integrated and you kind of have been your whole life. How does spirituality connect to your drag, or how does it present in your drag?
Well, I think fundamentally it has to connect with the person, right? Like the flesh, the
Mm,
blood of the person. I don't think I could. I don't think I could drag and change my fundamentals, so, but I feel like Christian values, whatever those are, kind of come through no matter what I'm wearing. So
mm,
I like, and when I'm doing shows, I mean, most drag performers, you can do vulgarity and you can do naughty things on stage and naughty things in your show, but I always feel that commonality with my boy self and with Veronika is being kind, being understanding, and being a good listener, and being compassionate to others, and trying to give back as much as you can when you're presented with the opportunity to do so. I've had lots of really great mentors in my drag career. One of them being a amazing entertainer by the name of Mark Middleton, aka Bianca Page.
mm,
She was a national drag performer for many, many years, and I really looked up to her quite a bit. And she passed away due to complications of lymphoma and HIV about 12 years ago. And we were very close, and we stayed with her in the hospital during her last days. For many weeks, we took turns, and she was never in that hospital room alone. One of us was always with her, literally till the minute she passed away. And it was during that time staying with her in the hospital. I was one of the shift takers. I grew so much as a spiritual person just having those conversations with her when she knew that her time may be coming to an end. So I was really able to expand the horizons of finality,
mm.
and just hearing her say to the nurse who was looking through her scrapbook, like, oh, wow, you have done so many things for the community. I see where you raised money for this and you donated for that. And her brother, who was also in the room at the time, told the nurse, yeah, Bianca's probably raised $1 million by himself just for the Nashville HIV/AIDS community. And the nurse
Mm,
kind of like gave her a little applause, and she goes, it's nothing compared to what the community has given me.
yeah.
And I'm sitting in the room and I'm like, am I like really, like, am I watching this? And it
Mm,
was because I was watching what humility was in the flesh.
yeah.
And that will never leave me. And it has stuck with me. And by sharing that story with your show, I feel like I'm sharing that moment of intimacy in that room with everybody, because it is when you are at a junctions in your life, like when you're on life support in a hospital room,
Mm,
so to speak, where you can share things and people really listen to you. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
She knew that nurse was listening to her. She knew that I was listening to her. I would
Yeah.
like to think so anyway. And things like that really made me feel like, yeah, I can go and raise money for this cause or do a benefit show for this, but why am I doing it? And
Mm,
does it matter why I'm doing, or am I just showing up because it's a name on a marquee and it's publicity? Or are you doing it because it's the right thing to do, and am I going to get out of it more than a billing? Am I going to meet people? Am I going to share my story with people? And it was because of situations like that where I feel like I have really grown,
Hmm.
and I have been able to really share a lot of the stories and a lot of things that I've been through with other people. So I'm just excited to be able to share that part of me, which is neither drag or not drag. It's just all me.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I related to a lot of a lot of what opened me up to um, spirituality again, and even into drag, and later my transness was the death of my nephew and being present for
Mm,
them there. So I definitely understand that, like the air, the atmosphere that is present when death is near, and
mm,
like the opportunity that kind of comes. I know for me, I was like I lost a lot of like a lot of the self that would get in the way of me showing up for life just kind of went away. You know what I mean? Like all the
mhm.
bullshit, I guess, just kind of like
Yeah.
whoosh, you know?
I've lost two nephews,
Hmm.
both in the most bullshit way that you can lose a nephew, with accidental drug overdoses.
Oh
And
wow.
there's nothing that will ground you faster than the death of somebody younger than you and your family, and especially
Yeah.
people that I felt like were like brothers to me.
Hmm.
And you get very rare do you get an opportunity to speak with young people in a very serious situation, like at a funeral home or something. And it's just like, I want you guys all, if you have ever partied with my nephew that's laying here in this box, I want you all to stand up.
Hmm.
If Because I want you to come up to the front of the room, and I want you to lay on the floor and lay right here, because it could be you, the next one that's laying
Hmm.
in this funeral home. If you are partying with my nephew at some point, or you still party, or you're thinking about partying, this is what your tomorrow can look like.
Hmm.
And it's an opportunity to really connect with people and scare the crap out of them sometimes, and be like, it doesn't have to be you. And you can have a conversation with people when you've been there. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
when you and not only have they been there, they were in the room with it. You know what I mean? So
Whoa.
it's just like, this doesn't have to be your path. You have opportunity to really look death in the face and make other decisions and other
Yeah.
choices, and ask questions and see what life has to offer, and how we can help each other.
Yeah, yeah. Those moments, it's sometimes easier to, like, if you are still alive, give it, like, I'm a recovered addict as well. So it's like knowing that I'm alive just sometimes helps me feel like like I'm here because there's more for me to do,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So with like as being a pastor, that's not something you would say you do anymore?
Well, like I said, you never really clock out of it. And even though the church that I was associate pastor of doesn't exist as a brick and mortar, um, I still feel I still feel like I am on this planet that we're on in some sort of pastoral kind of fashion, because I really do love to minister to people. I'm also a member of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the
I
sisters.
am, but maybe not everybody is, if you want to talk about them.
Sure. Well, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are an order of 21st century nuns that propagate joy and admonish stigmatic guilt. So we have different chapters in different houses across the world. There are many here in the United States and several abroad as well. And it's a group of folks, and they're cisgender, transgender, queer, straight, gay, bi, trans, all the above, that are either sisters or guards or nuns or angels or popes or whatever the manifestation that they take on in their house. But we come together and work with our individual communities and try and lift up other nonprofit organizations, and find people that are being stigmatized, whether it's with HIV, with it's being trans, or with it's being queer, or whatever it is. We try and partner with other organizations to lift them up and raise money in order to I love Pastor Don for that comment. And we are an organization that really strives to bring the best out in others, and that is by showing that you can be unique, and um, you can be yourself, and you can spread joy in lots of different ways. So look up the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and we are based out of San Francisco, and we just
Mm-hmm.
celebrated our 40th anniversary. Yeah, so 79. Yeah, 40th. I believe it's 40th anniversary.
Mm,
So if you are interested in finding out about that group, send me a message and I'll be happy to direct you. But we are in many cities across
yeah.
the country, and I'm part of the Music City Sisters. So musiccitysisters.com, I think. Yeah. Anyhow.
Nice. Yeah. And we've had a couple of other I've had a couple of sisters on the show before this too, Sister Mary Peter and
Mhm.
Sister Till the Next Time, which are
Yeah.
both out in
I
the Bay Area.
I am Sister Reya Sunshine.
Sister Reya Sunshine, I love that.
Yeah, and my husband is Guard Schmeckel Glittershits.
I love that. I love that. I love that. For folks who are who have joined us, please do, if you have any questions for Veronika, to place them into the comments. Sarah is saying hello as well. Hi, Sarah Harris.
Hello.
And then
And Pastor Dawn, she says, once a pastor, always a pastor, so they say. That's true. So Pastor Dawn is the pastor of a church here in Nashville that is connected to another church downtown. She's a pastor of a church called The Table. It is an
Mhm.
openly accepting for everybody church, and I'm very fortunate to be close with Dawn. And we're going to be doing a fundraiser on December 21st called The Longest Light, kind of a tongue in cheek of the shortest day of the year, which is the winter solstice. But it's going to be a really great musical event, and would love to see you at the event. Bonnie, it would be fantastic. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so blessed to be able to partner with Pastor Dawn.
Awesome. And Christina Smith says, you are both fabulous humans.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't let the human part be against me.
Oh, right. I mean, thank God, huh? Thank God sometimes I'm human. It's hard to accept that, but
I know.
sometimes it can be comforting, I guess, for sure. Um, so what else do you have going on in your life right now that you
Oh
would
my
like to share with us?
Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. So I keep busy. Uh, I use the hashtag booked bitch a lot.
Mm,
So I do a brunch show every second Saturday here in Nashville. I was out for the September brunch because I was super sick. I actually had monkeypox. So I was in the hospital for a couple of days, and it was really terrible. So if you can get vaccinated for monkeypox, I definitely suggest to do it because it's not something you want. I promise
mm,
you. Um, and when I did the brunch in August, I did the most fabulous gospel song, Bonnie. I did a song called "Go to Hell" by Dolly Parton,
nice.
and it was amazing. I pulled out the tambourines and everything. It was fabulous.
Mm,
So I have my brunch show coming up this Saturday, and then I work in a nightclub here in Middle Tennessee called Fusion. It's in Clarksville, Tennessee, it's where there's a big military base, and I do shows there regularly on Saturday evenings. And then we do drag queen bingo at Five Points Diner. But I'm also hosting the Rocky Horror Gala in Gallatin, Tennessee. Now, Gallatin is a very conservative little town just about an hour north of Nashville. And there's probably going to be all sorts of fabulous protesters and everything. But it's in a
mm,
100-and-something-year-old silent movie house. We're showing the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I will be hosting as Frankenfurter. And
nice.
everybody in the audience will have all their props and stuff. So that's on October 28th and 29th. And it's crazy that, there are ministry opportunities anywhere you go. I mean, I'm sure that
Mhm.
you've had ministry opportunities at the grocery store, at the gas station, or at the coffee shop, or at the drag show.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it's not that you're necessarily ministering to have an altar call. It's a ministry just having an open ear for somebody that may need to get something off of their chest, or for you to share either wisdom, or for you to share just knowledge or different things. I mean, you can have
Mhm.
a ministry moment with person one-on-one, or you can speak to a whole congregation full of folks. And it's all ministry and everything. And not many people realize, but you should be aware of the things that come out of your mouth because
Mm,
people listen to you, especially when you're on a podium like a drag queen is. When you're on a pedestal, you say things and people listen to you. And if
mhm.
you say the wrong thing, or you say something that can put you in a not so much of a fancy light, people remember that too. And as a professional performer, you have to make sure that you keep that in mind. And if you're cool with that, then that's great.
Hmm.
But if you find yourself saying things that you shouldn't say or shouldn't have said, you should really kind of think twice before you say something. So